In the high-gloss world of the bold and the beautiful, where fashion is armor and every kiss has a consequence, the newest twist is about to detonate like a grenade in stilettos. After months of secrets, betrayals, and emotional warfare, two women stand at the edge of a battlefield soaked in designer perfume, money, legacy, and love. And at the heart of it, two pregnancy tests. Two lines. One future that will tear everything apart. Electra, radiant and enigmatic, believed she'd finally carved a piece of happiness for herself in the chaos. Her night with Will was more than passion, it was healing. After months of navigating his complicated ties and betrayal, after forgiving him for sleeping with another woman, she had trusted again. She had let her guard down. And now, something felt different. Her body was telling her what her heart hadn't dared to believe. She might be pregnant. Not just with a child, but with hope. With a future. With a chance to rewrite her story with the man she believed was finally hers. But across town, in a sleek bathroom tucked inside Lee's cold, modern house, Luna stared at her own stick, the second one. The first hadn't been clear. The second was better. Maybe. She wasn't sure. But if it was real, if she was pregnant, it would have been from that night. That hazy, confusing night. The one that still played in her mind like a dream she couldn't fully piece together. She remembered Will, or thought she did. His touch, his cologne, his voice. But it hadn't made sense then, and it made even less sense now. Still, the possibility was enough. Enough to plant a seed of strategy in her twisted mind. If she was pregnant with Will's child, or if she claimed she was, that changed everything. Spencer Bled changed everything. What Luna didn't know was that Electra had already taken her test. Positive. She hadn't told Will yet, waiting for the right moment, unsure how he'd react, especially so soon after the loss of Ivy, the fire. The police investigations that still buzzed in the background like flies around a secret. But the timing was dangerous. The stakes were higher than ever. And if Luna was carrying to or pretending to, the fallout would be apocalyptic. Behind every smile in the Forrester mansion, every champagne toast in Spencer Tower, every deal signed in the Carter-Sheila alliance, there was one rule: bloodlines mattered. Legacy mattered. Babies weren't just children, they were bargaining chips. Leverage. Ties that bind. And now, two women standing on opposite ends of Will's twisted love triangle were holding the most powerful cards of all. Electra's pregnancy meant legitimacy. She was the woman Will chose, the one he returned to, the one he would build a family with. But Luna's so-called pregnancy, that was a ticking bomb wrapped in silk. Because Luna didn't want just a baby. She wanted the name, the man, the future that was promised to someone else. And so the rumors began. Backstage at a Forrester runway show, someone whispered about two pregnancies. A dual scandal. Someone else overheard a phone call Luna asking about paternity tests. Then came the anonymous tip to the tabloids, hinting at twin heirs on the horizon. Social media erupted. Blogs speculated. Headlines screamed. Double baby bombshell at Forrester. Spencer. Who's the daddy? But Luna wasn't panicking, she was planning. She knew the terrain better than anyone thought. If she could convince Will that her child was his regardless of the truth, she'd be tied to him forever. She could eclipse Electra not with seduction, not with sympathy, but with blood. And that's when the idea took root, the switch. The classic soap opera move as old as the genre itself, but deadly in its implications. What if the babies were swapped? What if, when the time came, Luna ensured that her child or someone else's child was passed off as Will's, while Electra's true heir disappeared into the background? It had been done before, more than once, but never with this much riding on it. Never with three families ready to implode over a single last name on a birth certificate. Electra, meanwhile, was unaware of the depth of Luna's descent. She still believed Luna was grieving, fragile, maybe unstable, yes, but not dangerous, not calculating. She had no idea that Luna was already laying the groundwork for the biggest lie of their lives. Will, caught in the middle, tried to find clarity. He hadn't even fully processed Electra's announcement. She hadn't had the chance to tell him. He was still grappling with guilt, suspicion, the looming investigation over the fire, and the echo of Ivy's scream in his nightmares. But when Luna accidentally let it slip that she might be pregnant too, his world fractured again. "Are you sure?" he asked, his voice flat. "I don't know yet," Luna whispered, lowering her eyes like a perfect victim. "I didn't want to tell you. Not with everything you're going through, but if it's yours." He stared at her, frozen. It didn't make sense. That night, could it have happened? He couldn't remember. She looked so sincere, so fragile. And Will, already spinning from loss, began to doubt himself. Could he have slept with Luna in a moment of grief? Had he betrayed Electra again without even knowing it? That crack was all Luna needed. She began tightening her grip. Subtle moves, well-timed tears, frequent visits, and always the implication that she was carrying his child. She never confirmed it outright. That was the brilliance of it. She let others assume, let the whispers grow. And as they did, the power shifted. Carter caught wind of it. He warned Sheila. Sheila, hungry for leverage over both the Forresters and the Spencers, saw an opportunity. If Luna's child was Will's, they could stake a claim, get a piece of Spencer fortune, maybe even an inroad into Forrester again. But Sheila wasn't stupid. She wanted proof. She offered Luna help, medical support, legal coverage, anything to keep her close. And Luna accepted. She needed allies, and Sheila's ruthlessness was a useful weapon for now. Meanwhile, Electra finally told Will the truth. "I'm pregnant," she said simply. He went still. Since when? Since that night. And for a moment, a pure, perfect moment, Will felt peace, love. Maybe this was the redemption he needed. But before he could react, she added, "I think Luna knows. The storm was back." And then came the night of the runway reveal, Forrester's biggest event of the year. Celebrities, media, flashbulbs, a live broadcast, and behind the scenes, both Luna and Electra present, glowing for very different reasons. It was supposed to be about fashion. Instead, it became a battlefield. A leaked medical report found its way to a reporter's hands. A backroom confrontation turned into a shouting match caught on a hot mic. Electra accused Luna of lying. Luna demanded proof. Will stood between them as cameras rolled, and no one knows who screamed. "Which one of you is carrying the real Spencer heir?" Silence. Then chaos. Flashbulbs lit up the room like an explosion. Reporters flooded the backstage area. Models froze mid-strut. Carter shouted for security. Brooke and Ridge stormed into the mix. Sheila watched from the shadows, smiling like the devil at a baptism. The episode ended with a single shot, both pregnancy tests, side by side on a mirrored counter, one still wet, and a voiceover. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, the test results come in. But whose baby is it really? And what happens when one of them isn't pregnant at all? The game has changed. The battlefield has shifted. Love is no longer enough. Legacy is currency. And in the war between Electra and Luna, there can be only one mother of the air. And only one truth. In the volatile universe of The Bold and the Beautiful, absence is never just absence, it's set up. While Jacqueline McInnes Wood, the indomitable Steffi Forrester, takes a brief hiatus for her real-life pregnancy, the show's writers are planting landmines across every corner of the Forrester legacy. Not to pause the action, but to amplify it. What's unfolding isn't a lull, it's a prelude. And when Steffi returns as promised, hinted, TC won't be walking into a family crisis. She'll be walking into a war zone. One that only she has the power to dismantle or detonate. Behind the gloss of runway shows and champagne toasts, the Forrester empire is cracking. Not loudly, not visibly, but dangerously. Luna's sudden rise in visibility within Forrester Creations isn't random. She's no longer just a curious newcomer or a fashion world outlier, she's now embedded. Her designs are gaining traction. Her presence in meetings is no longer questioned. Her influence on RJ and, by proximity, on the next generation of Forresters is deepening. But there's a problem. Luna doesn't understand the blood code of this dynasty. And Steffi does. Better than anyone. The current power vacuum in Steffi's absence has allowed Luna to thrive. It's allowed Brooke to make quiet moves in the background, subtle manipulations, familiar flirtations with influence, and whispered alliances to undermine Taylor's standing in the family. Most notably, it set the stage for Brooke to reinsert herself dangerously close to Ridge, exactly as Taylor and Ridge inch toward the wedding they should have had years ago. The balance is off. The family is drifting. The foundation is trembling. Which is exactly why Steffi's return, now all but confirmed by multiple media sources, is not just a character comeback. It's a reset, a purge. Steffi won't return quietly, not with what's been brewing. She returned to reclaim the Forrester dynasty from the chaos that's poisoned its core in her absence. Her role won't be soft. It won't be patient. It will be surgical, calculated, unapologetic. And it starts with Luna. For all her surface charm and youthful vision, Luna represents instability to Steffi. She's the unknown, the outsider who's inserted herself into the Forrester bloodstream without earning it. Worse, she's been leveraging her proximity to RJ to bypass real legacy, real hierarchy, and rumors of Luna's supposed pregnancy. The conveniently timed possible heir with Spencer blood only deepen the threat. Especially if Will is involved. Especially if the paternity is murky. Especially if Luna is lying. Steffi will see through it instantly because she's seen it before. And when she returns, the first strike will be swift. Luna will be removed from design meetings, sidelined from press events, cut off from the narrative she's tried to hijack. Not publicly, not yet. Steffi plays long games. But Luna will feel the pressure, the shift, the sudden chill. And she knows her time inside the gates is running out. But it won't stop there. Steffi's second front will be Fashion Wars 2.0, a move to reestablish Forrester dominance in the global design space. While Ridge and Eric have held down the core aesthetic, and hope for the future has held onto its younger demographic, there's been no vision, no expansion, no edge. Steffi will come back with a plan, a new line, something avant-garde and cutting, something to silence the noise from Spencer, to outpace the boutiques Serge Carter and Sheila are rumored to be financing, and to reposition Forrester not just as a brand, but as a fashion weapon. She won't do it alone. Thomas, now stabilized, focused, will be pulled back in. Paris, still underused and eager for a bigger role, will be elevated. Zende will be given a challenge worthy of his talent. And most importantly, Steffi will lock the gates against outside influence. No more Luna, no more fringe collaborators, no more opportunists riding the Forrester name for relevance. And then comes Brooke. Steffi has never trusted her. The history is long, the betrayals too numerous to count. And in Steffi's absence, Brooke has been quietly reigniting her presence in Ridge's orbit under the pretense of co-parenting, of history, of unresolved feelings. Steffi knows the playbook. She's watched Brooke do it before: smile, cry, seduce, steal. And with the Taylor-Ridge wedding just on the horizon, the timing of Brooke's involvement is no coincidence. Steffi won't let it happen. She confronts Brooke directly, not with accusations, but with facts, with evidence. With a clarity Brooke won't expect. She reminds her that Taylor has waited again, that the family has bled to get to this place, that Brooke's time as the default queen of Forrester is over. Steffi will draw a line in the sand. If Brooke interferes with this wedding, she will be cut off from Ridge, from Hope's collaboration pipeline, from the fashion house she's coasted off of for decades. And she mean it. Because this version of Steffi, the one returning, isn't coming back as a daughter or a sister or a designer. She's coming back as general, as CEO, as matriarch in training, ready to safeguard her family's name, legacy, and future by any means necessary. And what makes this arc even more combustible is what's still under wraps. The paternity chaos swirling between Luna and Elektra, the arson investigation creeping toward Luna, the potential re-entry of Sheila into the fashion game through underground financing, and the upcoming Forrester Spencer Carter Summit scheduled to coincide with Fashion Week in Monte Carlo. It's all building. Quietly, tactically, the board is set. The pawns are in motion. The threat isn't just to Forrester's brand, it's to its soul. And when Steffi returns carrying the fury of a Forrester daughter, the precision of a business shark, and the wisdom of a survivor, the message will be clear. No one touches this family without consequence. Not Luna, not Brooke, not even Ridge. And when she takes the runway again in heels in black, ice cold, hair sharper than a blade, the flashbulbs won't be for fashion. They'll be for war. Steffi Forrester is coming back to clean the table. And this time, she's not asking who said it.